All right, so it is 4:02 right now, and we have seven people who've joined. We're going to get started anyways. This is going to be recorded, and as people come in and out, they're likely going to just jump in to what we cover. So rather than keep all the sponsors waiting, um, we'll just start promptly. So my name is Richard Grundy. I'm the organizer, along with Rob Sabella, with uh, TrackHack, the Proximity ID Hackathon. This is the developer call, and what we're intending to do during this call is to go over the different hardware that are going to be brought to the hackathon, so that developers are more familiar with it and start getting ideas as to what they can build. The particular things that we're going to go over are itemized here as well as in the chat window.
Yeah. Come on.
Hold on one second. All right, so I've muted everyone but me. Okay, so I'll go through 10 minutes of just kind of a brief intro. I'll then pass it on to the folks at Impinj, specifically Bryan. Then we'll talk with the people from Plantronics, which we're really excited to have for this hackathon. After that, Nadine's going to cover some of the items from PunchThrough. Then SerialIO with Dave, HID Global after that, which is a really compelling tag manufacturer. And then Cheri from uRocket will join us towards the end, along with OmniID and the hosts of the event, Aaron from Clearblade. So um, one of the things that I wanted to kind of open up with is, some of the things that drive why it is that, Rob and I came together to start organizing this hackathon. We really believe that, you know, customer expectations are changing, prompted by things that are happening in the consumer space, specifically around the Disney theme park, where people are carrying around items that allow them to check into different rides, allow them to purchase things with the ease of a swipe of a wrist, allow them to get into their hotel rooms, allow them to track their kids to make sure that they don't stray too far from where they should be, and this is a lot of the development that allowed for Disney to deploy this solution is typically been uh, only available to the enterprise. And what we're trying to change with TrackHack is to sort of bring those things into the hands of developers, people who don't necessarily have the budget to purchase thousands of dollars worth of this type of equipment, and see what kind of really interesting innovations they can come up with in a 24 to 48 hour time period. And so, really sky's the limit. We're going to have some really awesome hardware at this track hack, which is the second of a series that we started last November. And we're really excited to see what the people that have registered, which actually now number in the 130. So there's 130 people that have registered for this event. And the people that are actually going to be allowed to come in are only of the number of like 40 or so, given the tight space that we have at Clearblade, which is in downtown Austin. And so, because of the fact that we're tight on space, we're really encouraging developers to join us during this call. I'm going to be writing down the names as well as providing a secret code towards the end of the call, which you will present an hour before the event actually starts tomorrow at 5 p.m. At the Clearblade office. If you show up 1 hour before, so from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. tomorrow, and present the secret key or secret code that I'll give towards the end of the call, you'll have the opportunity to unseat some of the previously registered folks. This is a way of kind of really driving folks to come to the developer call and really prove that they're really excited about building great great applications. So with that said, one great application that we really want to see developers start to think about is how do we create a vision or a scenario like the one described in this slide, which is a street vendor being able to provide contextual feedback to someone who's about to purchase based on deep analytics on products that are being sold and to who they're being sold. So this collaborative or this ability to do this type of filtering to establish correlations between activity that's happening on the item level is something that proximity ID really allows for, and they're really exciting applications. Typically, the type of applications that you'd find at Amazon.com, but really brought into the physical world. These are the types of applications that really excite us, and we'd love to see people at the hackathon bring these to life. One last piece that I wanted to share was we don't necessarily have to conform ourselves as developers to just the hardware that's being presented. There's many different web service APIs available, some of which I'm describing here in this slide, that developers should be able to take advantage of, even though they're not being sponsored at the event, and sort of the mixing or mashups of these particular APIs, which are exciting APIs, with some of the hardware that's going to be on site, is where we think that we're going to find really awesome applications. So these slides are going to be available so that, again, by way of our site, trackhack.org, to give some ideas as to what developers can build and what APIs might be really helpful for them to get that done. So without any further ado, I'm going to pass this on to Bryan from Impinj, who's our next up in terms of presentation. I ran through within my 10 minutes, so I'm proud of that. So Bryan, I'm going to unmute you, and I'm going to share the screen with you.
Excellent. Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay, there you go. So it'll take a moment to load up. You might need to install something on your end if you haven't done. Okay, great. See it?
Let me know if you guys see my presentation here.
Yep, it's on. So go ahead whenever.
All right. Okay, great. Well, let me just start at the front. For those of you guys who don't know Impinj, we are a RAIN RFID chip and infrastructure software provider for the RFID space. And what I wanted to do is walk through what we're bringing to TrackHack to give you guys some toys to play with and some problems to solve. With that, what we're bringing from an infrastructure side is two of our, what we call our X arrays, which are effectively overhead readers, RAIN RFID readers, and which they will see all of the what I call the newest generation RFID tags that we bring, what we're calling tagged assets, which will consist of badges as well as cartons, as well as colored blocks, as well as beach balls, and you'll be able to see those across the conference room area where a lot of you will be doing development. In addition, we'll have what's called our X portal, which is like a choke point tracker in the doorway, effectively, of the conference room number one. So in essence, what are we going to provide you? We're going to provide you, and then the software will be running to control these assets and provide you the associated data, which I'll show you in one moment here, as well as I'll show you the GitHub repository for you guys to leverage. Number one, you'll get access to effectively indoor location, what I call course location. accuracy of the tags. So for instance, you'll be able to see a badged person, within plus or minus 5 meters, and the motion will be decent, but it won't be super fast. So it'll update probably every second, but it'll be about a 5-second delay in terms of what you'll see for motion. And then in addition, you'll be able to have choke point visibility of that conference room. So you'll be able to see what comes in and out of that conference room. So this is a pretty typical scenario for our healthcare providers, our manufacturing providers, retail providers as well. So that's really, in essence, what the infrastructure is going to provide you. And what I wanted to give you a little bit of insight as well is what the overall architecture is going to be. And I don't know. Let me make this bigger, see if you guys can see it better. This is effectively the architecture. For those of you that don't care about the underlying infrastructure, but rather really just care about the data, just pay attention to these two servers up here. This is what's called our ItemSense software. And one set of software, one instance will be running the data aggregation for the conference room. The other one will be running data aggregation for effectively the open area. And so you can run either AMQP or use the RESTful interface to get access to that data. And so really the interface for you guys, for the developers, are the red lines. So red lines either coming from an application server that you guys are running on your system, or perhaps on a mobile device, running here locally over the wireless LAN. In addition, we're working out, you might also want to have access via the internet. We'll work that out to see if we have an answer for you on that, if you want to use a cloud-based service to effectively come in and pull the data out of what's here locally. Nothing hard there, just trying to give you guys options. And then what I wanted to give you guys some insight is what kind of data are you looking at, right? And so there's really two types of data. There's a real-time data on an item, and as you can see here on this is showing the RESTful query responses for the get, HTTP get, and then our URL plus a couple different directories and then items. And what you'll see here is it's really an object called items that has every single object that's seen, and what it is, the EPC is effectively what's called an electronic product code, and then the X, Y, and Z locations, and a zone, and we'll zone out the area to the degree that we can see some decent accuracy. And then you have presence, confidence, and this is used to filter out anything that's not high, that says it's possibly not there. And then last, modified time. So you can go through this in detail. That additionally, if you don't care about what's there now in terms of real-time location, and you just want to see where an item has been over the course of the last couple hours, you can use a get history command and on the RESTful interface as well. And we'll provide you effectively the array of history per EPC as needed. And then lastly, we'll give you this cheat sheet. Certainly when you're on site, what are the interfaces you have access to? It's either RESTful or AMQP. Interfaces on the ItemSense software. For XY coordinates, you'll use one IP address. For conference room entry exit, you'll use another IP address. We'll give you those as well. Using basic authentication, you can use our token-based authentication, but if you just want to make it easy on yourselves or just don't want to bother and you just want to use a curl command or something, you can just use the basic